So how strong is Broly's Super Saiyan transformation and how powerful is his dormant powers? One thing I want to mention is that in a DBZ video game, it stated that Broly was born a Super Saiyan. Maybe that's why he had a power level of 10,000 as a baby, which makes his base power level 200 as a baby. But another crazy thing about baby Broly, he was able to use an energy shield that protected him and his father from Frieza's death ball. And side note, I know it looks like a supernova, but in the manga they refer it to as a death ball.
You make it! That's enough! This is the end!
I decided to look into, and I'm going to make this video mostly about his Super Saiyan 1 transformation and talk a bit about his legendary Super Saiyan transformation also. It seems Broly can turn into a false Super Saiyan and has a couple of different transformations in his false Super Saiyan transformation that he can use before turning into the blue-haired Super Saiyan 1, almost like the grade Super Saiyans before reaching Super Saiyan 2. But for Broly, it's before he reaches Super Saiyan 1. So when Broly first transforms, his hair isn't blue, but you can see his yellow aura, and hair color also changes like a false Super Saiyan, and begins to attack Goku. And Goku is able to cause some damage to Broly while he's in this transformation. And then Broly powers up that transformation even more. Goku gets surprised and states that his power has dramatically increased. I know it's a vague term, but in most video games, when they show a character's reference bio info, it normally explains the power buff of a regular Super Saiyan as a dramatically increase in power, so that must mean his Broly's second power up of his false Super Saiyan would be a 1,875 times multiplier from his base. But it really seems Broly's strength comes from his transformations, cause his base is like a toothpick referred by Trunks, but another ability or type of grade transformation. Broly's false Super Saiyan is he can get bigger and taller. This is the form Broly used when he attacked those bird-like aliens, even stated by them. When Gohan asked them if it was Paragus, and they said no, it wasn't Paragus. It was someone bigger and stronger, also the form Broly used to shatter a galaxy. But Broly as a false Super Saiyan could still be somewhat controlled by Paragus's bracelet, but when he finally turns into a Super Saiyan 1, with the blue hair, it has no effect to him. And before as a false Super Saiyan, Goku's attacks were able to damage him a bit, but after Broly transformed into a Super Saiyan that has blue hair, not even Vegeta's attacks as a Super Saiyan were able to damage this Broly. This mean Broly's power would increase by 93,750 from his base as a Super Saiyan 1? But also wondering what is Broly's power level in his base, maybe it's at 10,000 or higher, but not really sure, and Paragus was able to put a crown-like headband on a Broly that was awakened from sleep. If the power gap was big, then Paragus would have no chance of doing that. And Paragus is an elite, a member of the top class who would eat in the royal palace with King Vegeta. And Paragus tells Goku he was in a higher rank than Goku's father. This also meant that Goku and Broly were born on the same day, and the invasion of Kanassa happened a day after Goku's birth. Then Broly and his dad were assassinated same day as Broly's birth, and exiled before Paragus could find out of Bardock's latest achievement. So, how strong is DBZ Paragus's power level? Well, he was able to survive King Vegeta Executioner Beam and was able to pin down a bleary Broly for a brief moment, and was considered by Trunks to have a higher power compared to a restricted Broly. I would assume Paragus would have a power level of 8,000, him being an elite, and another comparison of this assumption would be Vegeta one-shotting Qui. Their difference in power is only 1.3333. And that same power difference could be seen in King Vegeta and in an enraged Nappa, meaning that Executioner Beam would be able to take down Nappa cause King Vegeta power level is at 10,000, and an enraged powered-up Nappa is at 7,500. That's exactly a 1.3333 power level difference. But how strong would Broly's legendary Super Saiyan transformation multiplier maybe be if you compare the Grade 3 multiplier from El Manga Legendario? It says, and I'll translate in English, that transformation gives you a might that is 10 times stronger, but is very limited in mobility. Some fans thinks it's an overall 500 times multiplier because they just assume might means overall power. But the guide is specifically pointing out that its speed stat is limited, so no, it's not overall 500 times. Grade 3 only gives you a 500 times multiplier in physical strength, but comparing this and Broly's legendary Super Saiyan transformation is not restricted by a mobility issue. Even though he is very big and is said in a guide that Broly's legendary Super Saiyan is superior to Grade 3, but is very similar, then Broly's legendary Super Saiyan could be a 500 times multiplier from his Super Saiyan and would mean the legendary Super Saiyan transformation multiplier would be a 46,875,000 times multiplier from Broly's base. But other official material says his power keeps infinitely increasing, so it's not really hard to see if this is the case. But that's just a brief description of Broly's legendary Super Saiyan's multiplier, mostly because I wanted to cover Broly's other unknown transformations. But thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you like the video I made about the Broly from DBZ anyways. Thanks and laters.